When you say the settlers created the country, are you including the enslaved Americans as settlers, or is that a separate group?
Yes, I am, actually.
They were settlers?
Not settlers in that sense, but I mean, as many people have pointed out, we are not a multiracial country, we are not a multicultural country, we are a biracial country. For 400 years, this country was black and white. And we have had black people here as long as white people.
Is this a biracial country?
And African Americans, can I finish this point? It seems to have set off the crowd. Look, African Americans obviously got the short end of the stick for about 200 years. This is why I was explaining on the last panel. This is why we have civil rights. This is why we have constitutional provisions. This is why we allow, this is why we have affirmative action. It wasn't the Rainbow Coalition. It was to make up, to redress specific grievances done to African Americans, slavery, Jim Crow laws, and now suddenly, everybody's running across the border and, oh, me too, I'm part of this. No, civil rights are for African Americans. They are not for people who arrived yesterday or last week. We didn't do anything to you. Republicans didn't do anything to anybody.
Another great point by Ann Coulter. Basically saying that, yeah, okay, I think sometimes it's semantics, but if you're talking about in the initial stages, obviously, like she said, blacks got the short end because of slavery. Yes, they did. But that was in the freaking past. Can we move on from always talking about the freaking R word, the freaking S word, the freaking B word? Racist, slaves, bigoted. I mean, this is all we're talking about. Color. Is that talking about? I mean, this is just absolutely unbelievable. And for saying, and she's right, in terms of civil rights, they weren't made for Hispanics. Civil rights should be for every ethnic group. White, green, blue, black, yellow, brown, red. But the specificities of the civil rights action were because of what had happened to blacks during slave period and Jim Crow. So when she's saying not multiracial, multicultural, in the beginning, predominantly this was a white dominated, and there were blacks in the majority. Even now, 13 to 14% of the population is black. They say 4 to 5% of the population is Hispanic. I mean, at that point in time or whatever. So anyways, let's continue.
Okay.
I mean, there's just, wow, I don't even know where to start. So in that long-winded rant, you proceeded to insult people in a racist way and then have the audacity to say that our immigration policies are racist or allowing more immigrants in would lead to more racism. It's absurd.
How is anything I said racist?
How is what you said? You just talked about people speaking Spanish and how parents don't want to hear that because they're concerned that their kids might want to end up working at McDonald's. You're assuming that people are coming into this country.
No, you weren't listening.
Yeah.
No, there was a testimony before Congress from LA communities where black witnesses were going in saying, my kid applied to the local McDonald's, they wouldn't hire him because he didn't speak Spanish. It is mostly black communities that are being overwhelmed with illegal immigrants, and to be mocking them and saying they're afraid of Spanish people, I think is very dismissive and insulting.
Well, here's what happens in this hold on. You like the free market, right? You love the free market. I love the free market as well, as long as you don't have... Let me finish my point.
Keep going.
Okay. In a free...
Love the free market. You guys don't love the free market. You want to do everything but. You love the free market. That's why the crowd went after you, Anna.
free market, of course, there will be competition for certain jobs, right? And so the most skilled worker is likely to get that position. Being bilingual is a skill. You're able to communicate. And I get it. If you're not bilingual, it makes you uncomfortable. You're not as competitive. But guess what? You know, we live in a country where you have all the resources at your fingertips. You can learn a language for free online. And so, enough with this victimhood, because I feel like there's a lot of victimhood coming from you right now, right? If you want to compete for these jobs, go out there and learn. Pick yourself up by the bootstraps. Learn a new language. There's nothing wrong with knowledge.
You know, we are.
Now, I will acquiesce a little bit here to Ana and the point that she made that, you know what, yes, you've got to compete in the job market, but we're talking about entry-level positions at McDonald's. I don't know how much learning Spanish has to deal with it, because shouldn't they be speaking English in the McDonald's? Or are they only speaking Spanish? They're probably only speaking Spanish there. And for hiring just on the basis of ethnicity is racist in of itself and goes against hiring practices and policies and business practices as well, which you could get in trouble for and fined for. And so that's what they're talking about. And I guarantee you, in those locations, that even if somebody was bilingual and they applied, they wouldn't get the job because of the racism that is being employed by many Hispanics across the board, because they are racist, because they are bigoted against other minority communities, especially against blacks. And that is true. So just because you go ahead and you learn that Spanish, as a second language, isn't going to guarantee you. But absolutely, to learn another language will obviously be a nice tool in your tool belt as you proceed into the job market. No doubt about that.
We only have an hour, and not only is the hootenanny going on cutting into time, but if you would spend more time making arguments and not characterizing me, we'd have way more time.
Okay, so you started the last one. You're going to start.
All right. So anyways, that just ended on that where Anne's little backhanded, feather glove treatment towards Ana and whatever. So in this segment here, I think they both got their points across. I think Anne came across basically to say, look, it's not racism that's driving this. It has nothing to do with that. It's the fact that you have not racism coming at least from Americans or white Americans, predominantly European Americans that have been here for sometimes generations, but the racism that's being exhibited is coming from these huge droves of illegal aliens, primarily from Mexico and south of the border, and Latin America, whatever, that are coming here, that are causing that they're the ones that are being racially insensitive to blacks and to other minorities over here. So anyways, we appreciate you taking the time to watch. Let us know what you think. Who do you think won this debate? Was it a draw? Comments below, would love that. You've been watching the Dr. Nasir Shaikh Show. I've been your guest host. My name is Dr. Nasir. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't already done so. Like, share, and follow us. I'll leave you with my final thought, which is, when you're right, you're right. And when you're left, you're wrong. We'll see you again next time, folks. Take care and stay safe.